a slippery little goose. This one here at the Wastelands. First MX1 Moto. Whole shot to the 55. Keelan Meston. Passiati out early, then he goes down. Thompson out front. Here comes Metcalf, but Thompson gets his first win of the season. Did I mention the goose? Metcalf goes down. Canary goes down. Battle for the lead. Gorky and Thompson. Gorky wins. Thompson tops the box. This is Calgary's Wild Rose MX Park, just outside of downtown Calgary, and you are watching the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. Brian Coster and Mark Travers in the booth. Today's MX1 racing will be presented by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports parts and accessories. MX1 pilots out of staging, choosing their gates, and a big surprise today, we got Vince Friese and Mike Alessi from that MCR team up to race Calgary today. It's going to be pretty good to have them here, Fabs.
We saw Mike last year sweep both MX1 motos, so we know he can ride this track well. He does have a bruised sternum from a crash on Tuesday. Wasn't sure if he was going to ride. He's going to give it a try.
All right, let's get caught up on the MX1 points after 2 of 10 rounds. Metcalf, Gorky, Passiati, Thompson, Medallia are your top 5.
Canari's in tight with newcomer Cade Clayson on the KTM, who has really impressed. Teddy Mayer struggling fast, but sitting 8th, and it's Keast and Dylan Schmoke in 10th.
MX1 pilots coming out of staging. For opening ceremonies, Brian, we put our top 5 in points out first. That's why Metcalf, red-plated, is the first to go out. But today in qualifying, it was the number 12 of Vince Friese who had the fastest qualifying time.
Friese was just laying down some laps from the moment he got on the track in morning practice till he got off. Friese looks comfortable. He was having a lot of fun out there.
Good shot of the number 3. That's Tyler Medallia getting out on parade. Okay, Fabs, let's have a look at the Calgary Wild Rose MX Park track. They say it's one of the best tracks in the country, maybe in North America. A dynamic track, different soil conditions, hard pack, elevation changes. It's got everything.
Such odd weather here in the month of June in Calgary. We've had rain, hail, high winds, a mini twister leading up to now. They didn't till very deep, but it looks like we dodged a bullet weather-wise today.
There's an odd sight, the number 2 of Mike Alessi. For 10 years, it was 800. He's going to race for you next. Welcome back to round 3 of the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals, Wild Rose MX Park in Calgary, and 2 gorgeous Rockstar models bringing that 30 board out to Sir Paul. Hello, Jen. This first MX1 Moto will be brought to you by RoyalDistributing.com, Canada's power sports leader. All the big boys on the line, Brian. That is why we're here, to watch the premier class.
Absolutely. MX1 is what the fans pay for. The MX2, great racing. A bit of a bonus. Metcalf, Mayer, teammates side by side. The 761, Cade Clayson. We talked about him in the intro. That guy is a tough rider to pass, and he's proven he can hold a lot of these established stars behind him lap after lap after lap. So we'll see what Clayson can deliver today for Redemption Racing.
Rockstar Jen puts 5 sideways. The gate is down, Brian, coming to that short left-hander. Who's going to get that Royal Distributing hole shot?
Well, it is Metcalf and Thompson. Thompson, I think, by a knobby. Metcalf not usually getting great starts, so good for him to be up the mix. There is Alessi in 3rd, the 5 of Mayer, Gerke, and the 12 of Friese, who was our fast qualifier, sitting 7th right now.
On board the drift action cam with the 47 of Ryan Lockhart. Didn't get a great start, Brian. He's mired back to that pack as we swing up to the international section with our leaders, Thompson, Metcalf, and then Alessi. Remember, Brian, Alessi had a big crash this week. He's not 100%, bruised sternum. Great to see him up in the top 3.
Yeah, definitely. He wasn't even sure he was going to ride. That is the breastplate, and that is very painful when you breathe. Gerke flying in through the braking bumps, takes the hipper and that little extra hit. He's looking and searching for a way around Alessi, and last year Alessi was untouchable here. He swept both motos.
Brian, the Rockstar team in both classes, MX1 and MX2, are running those 60th anniversary Yamahas. They look spectacular out there in yellow. That alias gear, what a team. Things are starting to sort themselves out here in the MX1 class. Again, Alessi with a good start. We talked about him maybe not feeling so good, but gets a great start. And here comes the number 12, his teammate, Vince Friese, fastest qualifying time.
Yeah, Vincenzo is in the mix. A lot of fast riders, and Vince triples that dragon back. Looks like he gets by Teddy Mayer quickly. Wow, we saw them chatting earlier on, so they're kind of buds off track, and then Vince goes wide looking for the smooth lines. These riders always searching, and Vince seems to find that high line, barely a bump there, so a great spot to make time and save energy.
Did not see the number 1 of Colton Passiati. I think he's sitting around 10th right now, Brian. So not a great start for him. But think about it, the pundits were talking about this was going to be the race. Metcalf, Alessi, Gorky, Freezy, Fasciati. Oh my goodness, the talent up here is out of control.
Yeah, a lot of really good riders. Back to the replay to that Royal Distributing. Oh, shit! And look at Medi. Medi thinks he's got it, but our Rockstar official right there, Orton, calls the 148. What the shit?
The Fox Royal Distributing rider, 148, Cole Thompson and Elisa coming in the international section. Absolutely gorgeous. The number 12 of Vincenzo Freezy has moved into third place. So we got a nice little three-pack down into this rough Honda corner. This is for the lead, Fabs.
Through the outside, not quite as many ruts. Metcalf able to carry speed. Moves into the lead relatively quickly. And now the Smart Top rider, Freezy, has a great view of this lead battle. You know, he's going to be searching and looking at every move Thompson makes. He's not going to want to follow. And there he goes. He looks on the inside. We know Freezy, a very rough and tumble rider. But look at Thompson. Takes it right to the edge of the track. Has a little peek over. Lose a little momentum up this big booter here.
These guys know each other well, Brian, because they race US Supercross East Coast in the lights class together, so they know how to bang bars on a Supercross track, and that was a nice blocker from Thompson, but look at Freezy carry speed on the outside. Riders with good eyes will use different lines to their advantage. Freezy was super fast on the outside.
He just saw an opening, seized the opportunity, but these two riders here are charging hard, so Gerke does get around Alessi, but Alessi wants it back. Through the Shaw Valley, a great section up the Moto Van Hill on the bikes hard, then drop down the Pivot Works Valley. And here's a replay of Metcalf going for the lead. Thompson has to check up a bit because he wants that inside line, just missing some braking bumps, but he has to check up the setup and drop that front wheel in those ruts. Look at the outside, it's very smooth, open season. Medi just twists it, bashes into that last bit of rut there, and that was just a textbook move. Medi, with a mitt full of Cowie throttle, makes it happen.
There's something about watching Metcalf ride a motocross track. He puts the bike all over the place, finding fast lines. He's not afraid to try this and that's why he's in the lead right now.
He is so experienced. He got the call last year. He was all signed to race Canada. Got the call to replace Ryan Filippoto in the U.S. on that factory Kawasaki. Finished 4th in the series, making good on his commitment to Canada. Coming back in 2015, the guy is a class act, and look at him ride, Travis. He's unbelievable. On that finish line tabletop, watching him ride, you can actually hear his triple clamp hit the steering lock in midair. That's how hard this dude scrubs.
There's the number 1 of Colton Fasciati, right now sitting in 8th place, Brian, so starting to make some moves back to the number 3, Tyler Medallia, Parts Canada Husky in 9th, so he's got some work to do as well.
Yeah, Ty Knott with a great start has had a pretty solid season up to this point, and there's the number 2, Alessi. I think that sternum is getting the better of him, Travis. He is coasting off. I think he's done for the day, man. Not good, and just really cool that these guys even made the effort to come back to Canada.
100%. You got to give it out to Mike for actually lining up and making an attempt and putting it in there. You saw Brian, look at this. The 123 of Brett Metcalf is off the track. He's kicking his bike. Not sure what the problem is, but that's going to put the number 12 Moto Concepts rider, that's Vince Freezy. He's in the lead.
Man, Vincenzo got a gift there. Medi, I don't think, fell down in that Marin Bikes International section. Not really a spot to crash, so I think he's had a mechanical.
Look at these two riders banging bars. Gerke on the inside. You said the little hipper. Does he get ahead of Thompson? Yes, he does, and that is for second place. These guys were running 3-4 when Metcalf is in the lead. Now they're in the top 3.
Oh my gosh, that was so sketchy. Thompson right on the edge of the track, using it all. He's got that smooth style. He's deceivingly fast, but Gerke just able to get ahead of him there in that over-under.
On the right side of your splitter, you're seeing Metcalf pushing his bike, so definitely an issue there. The number 1 at Colton Fasciati moving up on Clayson, that's for 5th place. And coming out of the back section, Brian, the 101 of Gerke had lost the position to Thompson and then gets it back, and that drift, oh, that's such a tight right-hander there.
I love the fact that Thompson passed Gerke back and showing his resolve. So this is not over. These guys are fighting tooth and nail for second place. A big gift for Vince Freezy right now. But to be fair to Vince, he is checking out on the field. Fastest qualifier. He's Gandhi.
Into the Shaw Valley. This is the battle for 5th place. The number 1 at Colton Fasciati comes up on Clayson. Oh my! And gets real bossy on that Motovan corner as they drop down into the valley. What a gorgeous pass.
Travis, he had to do that. He was following Clayson for at least 6 laps. We know Colt's a little quicker. He's got to get aggressive. Colton had that bad hip injury in the off season. I don't think He's healed up. They're playing their cards so close to the chest. I think Colt is still riding hurt.
The number 12 of Vince Friese, smart top rider, getting his last lap flag. He is in the lead to the number 7, Rockstar Yamaha, Bobby Canary, looking great on that 60th anniversary Yamaha, but sitting in 8th place, not where he wants to be, Fabs.
Yeah, Bobby's been struggling. He's changing setup, it seems, every week. To our leader, Vinny Vincenzo, who won the overall here last year in MX2, up to the big bike. That is a Honda 450R. It's a white bike, but it's a Honda.
Boy, he looks good out here, Brian, and I love his attack. I love the way that he's come in here with confidence. He wants to show these guys that he means business. You never know, maybe there's gonna be a ride up here for him next year as he takes the checkered flag and wins the first MX1 Moto here from Calgary's Wild Rose MX Park.
Nice job, Travis. To the Yamaha leaderboard, not much emotion out of Friese. Gerke and Thompson have a great battle. Teddy Mayer and Fat Yotes, Clayson, Medaglia, Canary, champion, not in the greatest shape, finishes 9th.
Let's talk about practice this morning into qualifying. You were by far the fastest guy on the track, but what I liked about you was how aggressive you were attacking that track, more aggressive than anybody, and then it showed in the Moto. So I think that was great preparation.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I knew I needed to come out and be aggressive. The way this track is, the way you make time up is by just twisting the throttle, you know. And I knew there's a lot of fast guys. Matt was coming on strong there at the end. I knew he'd be fast. Brett was riding really good until I think he maybe had a bike problem. So I knew they were going to be tough to beat those guys. So I needed to set the tone right off the bat from the morning, and I did that, and it worked out good. Hopefully I can keep it going for this next moto.
With a strong second place in the first MX1 Moto here from the Wild Rose MX Park in Calgary is the 101 of Matt Gorky on this beautiful 60th anniversary Yamaha bike. Matt, a couple of big passes to get into second. You look really strong out there today.
Thanks, yeah. At the beginning of the race, my lens popped out on part of it, and I got so much dirt in my eyes, but I just kept trying to ride through it and close my eyes and blink it out, and just charged as hard as I could. I'm happy with that. I didn't even know what place I was in. I was having a hard time out there.
Cole Thompson getting the whole shot in the first MX1 Moto. If he gets the next one, that is the Triple Crown. Welcome back to the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. This is round 3 from Calgary's Wild Rose MX Park. And there's Sir Paul Kingsley. He's been knighted, Broughton, England, and the lovely Jen with the 30 board. This second MX1 Moto will be brought to you by Max Convenience Stores. That's where I go to get my Rockstar. I don't know about you, Faz, but that's where I go.
Well, of course, that's where I get all my groceries. That's where I shop.
As it usually is in Calgary, we saw some really gray skies. Looked like it was going to be some turbulent weather, but skies are a little blue right now. I think we're going to get some great weather for the second MX1 Moto. Great shot of the pilots on the line. We talked about concrete starting pad. Always difficult, Brian, especially with the big bikes.
Yeah, they called for rain all night. It didn't come, so the track isn't really super tilled or watered. 5 sideway Fasciotti right on the inside for this second moto. Big drag race down here to the tight button hook left. Who's going to get that rail discriminating hole? Yeah, it's Friese.
Number 12, Moto Concept Smart Top rider Vince Friese with the Royal Distributing hole shot in the second MX1 Moto, and a great start for the number 7, Bobby Canary. He sure needed that one, Brian.
And look at Fasciotti. He had a pretty crappy start. Quickly gets himself into 4th place.
With Friese winning the first moto and then getting the whole shot in the second moto, Brian, oh my goodness, he is all about his business as the boys are funneling through the International with some big pancake whips. Is that the 748 of Parker Hope? I think it is. He had a great start in the MX2 class last year. Looks pretty good right now in the MX1 class.
And boy, did he ever saw off Fasciotti hard. So he is up in the mix, and you know, he is in with some pretty serious riders. And when you're starting to hack off the champ, I don't know if he's in over his head or not.
The number 101 of Matt Gerke slips by at Hope as they come into this Yamaha corner. Fasciotti goes into, oh my, some big contact as the 148 of Cole Thompson lets Hope know who the top dogs are.
You want to play with the big boys, that's what's going to happen. I saw him getting pretty squirrely and his feet a little out of shape as he was cutting off some of these riders. So a little incident with Thompson and bam, he loses.
Fasciotti and Thompson going bar to bar. A little crisscross for Thompson on the binders. Love it in the Cowie corner through the Dragon's back, Brian, as they come through this little section. Oh my goodness, Gorky has a little issue before he hit the first of the 2, jumps down into the valley.
Man, there is so much going on this racetrack right now. I thought Fasciotti had the pass, but Thompson comes right back like a loaded Tommy gun, keeps the position.
Here we go back to a replay of the start, Brian. Mr. Mr. Freeze on the inside. He held it, had a dynamite line, and got on the gas and got that royal distributing hole shot. What a great start for him.
And as a side note, his teammate Alessi did not start this second moto, so he is watching from the sidelines.
Carrying the MCR colors. Here we go, back to a battle for second place. Thompson on the inside. Oh, Thompson rolls the front wheel, installs the bike, Brian. Canary in second place. Fasciotti gets by for third, then Thompson gets his bike going, so it's still in fourth place, so not a whole lot lost there.
Yeah, Clayson right there, he does not want to get passed by Clayson because he is a big man, he's fast, he's smooth, he's hard to pass. There's Medi from a poor start, just inside the top 10 with teammate Mayer right on his heels as they stalk Gerke. After Gerke's mess up there through that roller section into the Shaw Valley, he lost a bunch of places. So, and that occurred right here is where he went off the track.
And Brett Metcalf, because of that DNF, had the worst gate pick out there, Brian, as he goes inside on Gerkman. Oh my, down into the Shaw Valley. One of the two places where they changed the track, Brian, from last year. This little launcher down to the Shaw Valley, and then the off-camber off the start.
Yeah, Travis, I like the changes. Here are two previous champions battling for 6th place down in the Shaw Valley. And Gerke on that beautiful 60th anniversary retro Yamaha, but Teddy Mayer, number 5 on that monster leading edge Kawasaki right there, looking for a pass.
Up into that Chirby's roller section, Brian. Let's go back to that pass that Metcalf made on Gerke as they come out of the Dragon's back. Has a dynamite line here, a little further on this approach into this Shaw Valley jump. Oh, and they almost connected right there. Oh my.
Boy, are they close. Gerke maybe a little tentative because that's where he went off the track, though. He looked pretty solid there right in the middle of the track. Had a good launch, but Metcalf able to stay lower, lands right in beside him. Touch and go moment.
The number 7 of Bobby Canary has fallen back, and it looks like his teammate, the number 101 of Matt Gerke, is now moving up on him. Gerke taking that outside line. That inside line is starting to get real choppy in that Honda corner, isn't it?
The determination of Bobby makes it work for now. Of course, no team orders here. Min gets up beside him over the hipper. And for a team manager, this is always a nail biter. You don't want your guys to take each other out.
This is one of my favorite parts of the track, Brian, the Yamaha corner. When you're down at the bottom, the elevation is so intense, you're looking straight up, it's almost like being a sky. Oh my! Canary goes inside on that little off-camber and just hit a little knoll, Brian, and rolled it over.
Good thing the 3 of Medallia has a little GNCC experience. He's able to kind of enduro out of that rut, getting around that problem.
Fasciotti moving up on the number 12 of Vince Freezy. That's for the lead. Oh my goodness, here comes Metcalf. He's made it all up on Thompson, for crying out loud. This is the battle for 3rd place.
Medi is on a tear, really unhappy with that DNF of the first moto. Oh, and look at him scrub. We did get a report that it was a broken valve, and so many moving parts in these 4-strokes. We hardly ever heard of any DNFs in the glory days of the 2-stroke, but with all the moving parts, these 4-strokes, it's a pretty common occurrence.
Through the off-camber, Brian, Metcalf uses the high line. Thompson's down low. Metcalf moves into 3rd place. Here's Canary again, coming up on that little inside off camber, and he just rolls it off the side. Too bad for him, out of the rut. And then he collects Mayer as well, so yeah. Mayer just too bad for him.
His hip actually hit that little wall there, and then his leg just dragged him off the back of the bike. Teddy had nowhere to go, just a victim of circumstance, and that has been the theme for Teddy this year.
Wow, look at this battle for the lead. My goodness, out of the Shaw Valley, Freezy, Fasciotti, and Metcalf as they come up to that huge jump before the finish line. Look at the action we have here today. Brian in Calgary coming up on the inside in that off-camber. Rockstar lockoff. Teddy, does he have it? Yes, he does. 2nd place.
Colt fighting back. I like what I'm seeing from the Gopher Dunes Honda rider, our previous champion, but I believe riding still a little hurt, and it's Medi, strong and healthy, starting to challenge Vince Freezy through the Marin International section. Freezy skies it out. Medi all business.
Thinking back 2 years to 2013, Brian, in the 2nd moto at this track, Metcalf had to do exactly the same thing, make a bunch of passes to get in the lead. He was the fastest rider by far, I think I'd ever seen until I saw Alessi last year, so we're witnessing some speed on this track.
Yeah, we were really disappointed that Alessi was injured because this had all the makings of a brouhaha.
Brian, I just want to say how impressed I am with Vince Freezy. You know, he spends most of his time on the MX2 bike, but you bring him up into this big class, and he's got the speed to run with these guys up here. He's a player.
That's confidence, man. He had such an air of confidence this whole weekend, and it showed out there. Fastest lap time. Now Medi taking a peek on the inside through the FXR left-hander. They go. This is a great section of racetrack. You can go high, low, lots of options for the riders. Oh, Freezy, oh no! Tucks that front wheel down. loses a couple spots there. Oh my gosh, now he's in fourth. He's got to shift some gears and get back up to the mix. Now Freeze comes in, hits a bit of a kicker right there, upsets him a little, and I think he's more urgent on the gas because of that kicker. He's like, man, I gotta go. Meddy's right there and just tucks it under. Again, a racing incident. You rarely see the riders push like this in training and practice.
Well, and there's a lot of rocks up there too, Brian. You talked about how slippery those rocks are, especially when they're loose. We see Metcalf getting his last lap flag. Fasciati going over. Where the heck is Thompson? He's right in this little cluster right here. So our top three are still pretty close.
So Freezy actually went from first to fifth with Cade Clayson on the redemption by getting by. So now Freezy has to pass Clayson on that MCR Smart Top Honda. Man, they're carrying speed by the mechanics area.
Through the Rockstar lockoff, Clayson is a difficult rider to pass. We talked about it, and there goes Freezy with that inside line. A bold move underneath the tunnel and takes fourth place. You know, these guys were dog and ponying it the whole way. Some contact. I like that pass from Freezy.
Man, I think Clayson had no idea what was going on. You could see him look over his shoulder going, what happened?
To our leader, the 123, Brett Metcalf, Monster Energy, leading edge Kawasaki. DNF, the first moto, didn't like that. He's got the red plate because he came into the series leading the points. He's gonna win this second MX1 moto. This is exactly what he had to do to kind of get back into the mix, Fabs.
For Medi, it's all about damage control at this point. You can't do anything. These bikes are so highly tuned. Aftermarket parts in the engine pulls off the W.
What a great day of racing we had here at Calgary's Wild Rose MX Park. There's Vince Freezy, second MX1 Moto hole shotter, and he's also going to get the overall. Let's have a look at our Yamaha leaderboard and our top 10. Metcalf, Fasciati, and Thompson are your top three. Let's go down to Medallia in seventh, Teddy Mayer in eighth, Kyle Keaston ninth, Riley Bruff in 10th. Hey, Fabs is in the impound with Colton.
Our reigning champion, Colton Fasciati, fifth in that first moto, second in the second moto for third overall. Colt, you got to be really pleased with the way you ended the day there with second.
Yeah, I think I actually felt better the first moto, but just got a bad start, and it took me a while to get going. Second moto, I just kind of rode consistent all the way through, and you know, got lucky with a couple guys going down, and just rode smart, and you know, I was having fun out there.
Cole Thompson, the model of consistency here on a rough and tumble Calgary track, 3-3, second overall. You got to be pretty stoked on your day.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I turned around in the second moto there. I felt like I was with the lead pack the whole moto, and unfortunately, right when I went to go for a drive on Colton there at the last 3 laps, just made some mistakes and got tangled up with a few riders, but can't take it away, he rode great. Metcalf was on another level, so just gonna go back home, regroup, and get ready for Regina next weekend.
The number 123, Brett Metcalf, looked like he had that first moto in the bag. He had a mechanical failure, but a little redemption in that second moto. It's got to feel good to end the day with a W.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you kind of get the most points out of it as I can. You know, we can't control motocross racing. That's what happens sometimes. And I'm happy with the day. The riding was good. The track was good. Enjoyed it. Calgary was great. It's a place to be. So, you know, the Monster Energy Kawasaki, we were able to put it up there on the top step in the second moto and salvage the best we can. It was tough, you know, to come back from that. You got to push it. So.
To the MX1 overall after 3 of 10 rounds. Metcalf falling way back with that DNF. Gorky's going to run that red plate into Regina. Clayson, Canary, Mayer, Keaston, Schmoke will round out the top 10. Huge crowd out here in Calgary today. I want to say a special thanks to them. We also want you to like us on Facebook and catch up with all the goodies on mxnationals.ca. You have been watching the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross National. Presented by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports parts and accessories. For Brian Coster, I'm Mark Travers. Hey, Medi, I'm sorry about that one. We'll see you next week in the city that rhymes with fun.